Today we're having a look at the Sony, what's that? Ah, right, my bad. Sorry, forgot they were on. As I was saying, today we're having a look at the Sony XM5s, and in case you're wondering why this review is so darn late to the party, the fact is, when a new product comes out, there is a lot of hype duty anticipation around it, especially popular products like the XM series, so I kinda like to wait in the long term, once all the heat cools down, to do a honest and fair review without any sort of persuasion from the greater tech community. Now with that said, we're gonna have a detailed look at this headphone to see if it's the right one in 2024 and onward. So let's get on with it. A quick recap on the packaging experience. So Sony really took the whole, environmentally friendly thing to heart, because the whole thing is basically just plain old paper packaging and in the most minimalist fashion possible. Once you remove all that paper stuff and actually open up the box itself, Sony gets straight to the point. You basically have the hard fabric case, and attached to that is a paper envelope, inside which of course you'll find the quick start guide, warranty, and regulation information. Anyway, once you open up the hard fabric case, right off the bat, here they are in the platinum silver color, and the XM5s at a glance look like they're made of the same material as the box. Like, it just looks like paper. That's not to say it's cheap, it's just that's how the color looks. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the whole packaging experience. The XM5s are a totally different look compared to the XM4s and 3s, and I personally like the more minimalist approach. Now, of course, the whole thing is still made of plastic and foam, and I know there are a few people out there who don't think that a $400 pair of headphones should be made of plastic, but here's the thing, this thing weighs literally half a pound. That is ultra light, and to achieve that, they have to use these materials, but make no mistake, the XM5s feel like a proper sturdy pair of headphones. It doesn't feel cheap or finicky in the slightest. Granted, the headband itself is a little bit thinner this year, though I find the quality of the actual foam itself is 10 folds better. It seems more breathable than the XM4, and if you go to the gym more often, you'll definitely appreciate just how much lighter the foam feels this year. Other than that, it is of course worth noting that the platinum silver color really brings a unique dimension to these headphones, though if you want something a little bit more traditional, you can always get it in black. Now, I'm well aware that one of the critiques of the XM5 is the lack of the bifolding mechanism that we had with the XM4, and I get it, it added an additional layer of portability, but if I'm being dead honest, I think it was overplayed. They still invert inside, so you can put them in a case in a flat manner, and yes, they take a little bit more room in the case, but they'll still fit in any normal backpack. The difference is nominal. If you use any other headphones aside from Sony, this is normal practice, and I don't think there are any real durability implications, at least not yet, but I'll keep an eye out. Honestly though, again, I don't think the lack of bifolding mechanism should be a huge deterrent for anyone. Let's start with the main course meal. Audio performance. So the XM5s did receive brand new 30mm drivers, and immediately you will appreciate the fact that these are one of the most well-tuned and well-balanced pair of headphones out there. I mean, whether it's low-range music, high-range, or mid-range, they all sound amazing. I've tested all kinds of genres, including hip-hop, Gen Z high-pitch music, pop music, instrumental, and they all sound so darn crisp on these pair of headphones. And the secret here is that Sony takes a very conservative approach. Rather than focus deliberately on one of the ranges, they kind of step back from all of them in a way that none of the ranges dominate the other, which provides the perfect combination of audio waves or audio flow, whatever you want to call it. Now, with that said, of course, if you're coming from an older generation like the XM4, the difference isn't necessarily as dramatic because, well, the XM4s were already so darn good with their drivers. However, there is a little bit more crispness, and if you're looking at the XM5s as a first-time purchase of a headphone coming from several generations ago, the difference is readily notable. Good audio quality is only half the battle, and Sony knows this. The XM5 did the impossible. They further improved Sony's noise cancellation technology compared to the XM4s. Unpredictable noises like a fluctuating vacuum motor that adapts to the floor type, or dishwasher waves going up and down when the washing cycles are happening, or just high-pitched noises versus low-pitched noises kind of coming all together. That's difficult for a headphone to filter out, and the XM5 does it nearly flawlessly. I mean, honestly, I was impressed just to how much noise suppression the XM5 is capable of, and a lot of this is of course thanks to the fact that you now have a total of 8 microphones on the XM5s, which is twice as many compared to the previous generation. And overall, Sony just really is good at that. They invest a lot in their R&D with noise cancellation, and it definitely shows with these headphones. You also, of course, have ambient mode built into the XM5s, which is transparency mode essentially, and it works well enough. You can hear all the noises you're supposed to in the background, whether it's a person talking or it's cars coming on a street, and it does a good enough job filtering it. Yes, it's not as good as the AirPod Max, but it also doesn't cost as much as the AirPods Max either. All the onboard controls are located on the right ear cup. That includes the power button, which serves as the pairing button as well. You also have the noise cancellation / transparency mode button, and then of course the headphone jack in case you want to go old fashioned. Just like the XM4s, the entire front side of the XM5's right ear cup is basically a giant gesture based touch sensitive control. I don't like this. It's too much surface area. It increases the chance of accidental touches. This was a problem I know with the XM4s, and it still remains to be a problem with the XM5s. Now, while the XM5s are plug and play headphones, I strongly urge you to get the headphones app from Sony on iOS or Android. It allows you to see system status, issue or their updates, adjust the equalizer either in a custom setting or letting Sony automatically calibrate it for you, enable spatial audio, and of course so many other things like having the ability to turn off speak to chat, or of course also allow multi-device support, and also set custom profiles for the headphone, as well as adjust the tap settings and so much more. Battery life hasn't really improved compared to previous generations. You can expect around 27 to 28 hours based on our test with noise cancellation on and audio at around 60% volume. Now remember how I mentioned that the XM5s have a total of 8 microphones? Well, you're probably curious as to how audio quality sounds to the mic, and it has improved a little bit compared to the XM4s. Here's a quick microphone test for reference. What's up everybody? So this is a test to see how good the microphone is on the Sony XM5s. This one has 8 microphones, so technically it should be twice as good as its predecessor. And well, you let me know what you think of the overall microphone quality. Now look, with a $400 price tag, the XM5s will put a dent in any working man's wallet. And I know they're not cheap headphones, however, there is a lot going on here. I mean, you've got a refreshed design, it's got a very modern appeal to it. You now have 3 color options additionally to kind of see which one flows with your vibe. On top of that, the noise cancellation technology is the best feature by far. Sony has really improved it here. The audio quality continues to improve as well. You have similar battery life to previous generation. Sure, it's not more, but it's not less either, despite the newer addition of technology. Microphone quality has also improved, and of course, the foam quality is also considerably more comfortable. I know there are certain down points like the lack of a bifolding mechanism, or for example, the ambient mode isn't as competitive as the AirPod Max, and a few other things like the touch controls, but generally speaking, these headphones have a lot to like and not a lot to dislike about them. I do think if you have the budget and you're seeking exceptionally well balanced audio quality, there are few headphones that do it as well as the XM5. Let me know what you think of these headphones. If you are gonna get them, I will leave links in the video description below. Please consider using them. It helps fund this channel, and most importantly, if you enjoyed this review, please consider subscribing to this channel. It genuinely helps me grow. Catch you in the next one.